America's best days are yet to come. That's because conservatives like you know and live the values our great country was built on. The Heritage Foundation exists to make sure your voice is heard in the D.C. swamp each day, shining the light on a bright future. The Heritage Foundation stands for your values and won't give up the fight because they know you never will. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
He's here. He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a big night. We have 3 Democrat strongholds where there are serious challenges going on. Virginia, New Jersey, and yes, New York City. In the case of New York City, the Democrat Party has gone the way of Marxist Islamists, anti-American, anti-Semitic, Democratic, they call it, Socialist Party. The question is whether there's enough voters who will install such a incredibly contemptible political bloc. It won't just be for mayor, it'll be for deputy mayors, it'll be for all the administrative agencies. They will, like cockroaches, crawl into the city bureaucracy, and they will be irremovable. When people leave a city, they don't come back. When companies leave a city, they don't come back. When jobs leave a city, they don't come back. Now, he's getting even more brazen, as today is election day in New York City, of course. I'm talking about, yes, he favors the BDS movement, which is a movement that intends to economically destroy the state of Israel. It's not focused on any terrorist regime. It's not focused on any terrorist organization. It's not focused on any of the genocidal regimes throughout the world. It's focused on the largely Jewish state. It is an act of anti-Semitism born of various terrorist-supporting regimes. This guy's out of the closet. If he becomes mayor, there's no second-guessing. You've been told by multiple people. Most of you listening know this. It's the dolts, the morons, and the low IQ types who don't care. They don't care. By the way, I see little Adolf, prepubescent Nick, got very upset Monday night. See that, Mr. Producer? He's ranting and raving about me. So I'm going to reply on the social media now. Looks like I got under prepubescent little Adolf's unpure quasi-white skin. His illiterate, incoherent brain farts exited the wrong end of his dwarf-like body. He really should replace that funeral-like suit with a brown shirt like a good Nazi. As for deportation, given his background, he would qualify for removal to a number of hellholes, or he can crawl back into his little dark hole. Is that strong enough, Rich? I'll post that at the break. See, the goal is humiliating these people, getting in their face. He's a tough guy, all 3'8" of them, with his little podcast from his basement. Do you know his parents support this podcast, Mr. Producer? It's an all-in-the-family situation. Now notice, ladies and gentlemen, these alt-right, woke, isolationist, anti-American, fake MAGA, Christian-hating, Jew-hating, America-hating reprobates, they don't spend a lot of time on the Marxists or the Islamists. In fact, you got Tucker Carlson, who's been praising Sharia law, says you don't see rapes where there's Sharia law. No, you do see rapes where there's Sharia law. In fact, you see in these fundamentalist parts of the world, little girls being sold off and married off to old men. Tucker missed that because he wants to miss it. Nature of the beast. And any woman who reports a rape will be killed. So there's that too. But can you imagine? So now we're in a position where these people are trashing the Judeo-Christian belief system at the foundation of this country and talking up Sharia law. Now, if you don't abandon these people, they're going to keep at it. I'm seeing some politicians beginning to speak up, and I'm proud of them. And by the way, the Speaker of the House has always spoken up about these things, and he's been great, and he was great today. But there are significant politicians who still haven't said a damn thing. Not a word. Not a word. Not even in defense of Christianity or Americanism or women or the American legal system or the American soldier or the greatest generation. If you took Israel and Jews out of the equation, these people would still be trashing Christianity, crashing America, trashing our history, praising Hitler, talking about raping women. Sick. There should be no debate about this. If you're a decent, moral human being, a father, a husband, a son, a mother, a daughter, a sister, there should be no debate about this. These are skinheads, effectively. These are Klansmen. These are Nazis. They're not what we believe. They're not who we are. Any more than Mamdani is. And the Islamists and the Marxists. It's that simple. This is not complicated. Now, if you have people in think tanks and legal groups and media and politics at the highest levels who are confounded by this, they don't know what to say. They don't know the moral route to take and the political route to take and how to unite everybody. These are quislings. They don't deserve your vote now or ever. This is not hard. This is not hard. New York City, you don't have a hard decision today. Many of you have already voted, but you vote right up till 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So there's 2 hours and 45 minutes left for red-blooded, patriotic Americans to save their city. And yes, every vote does count. And your vote in this election is a vote to try and save your city, your state, and your country. This is a cancer that's metastasizing, a spreading poison. And when you have an opportunity to crush it, you should crush it. When racism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, anti-Christianity, anti-capitalism is on the ballot, you vote against it. When Marxism and Islamism, fundamentalism, is on the ballot, you vote against it. on anti-NYPD. We used to praise the first responders on 9/11. What happened? When that's on the ballot, you vote against it. Now, here's my suggestion. Here's my suggestion for those of you who are in New York, listening on the internet or through a podcast or something of that sort. You make sure the people you know, your family, your friends, your neighbors, who agree with you, vote. Your precinct captain for 2.5 hours. Knock on their door, pick up the phone, and tell them, put down the dinner fork, it's time, now. Pull over, go to the polling place, the time is now. You have till 9 p.m. And so I'm going to swing to Virginia because you only have 45 minutes. Is that correct, Mr. Producer? 7 p.m. You have a trio of horribles. A trio of horribles. Winston Sears will be a great governor. She would be historic. It would be an upset victory. Let's do it. You have a lieutenant governor candidate on the Democrat side who is Mamdani in a dress. She is an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical Marxist. That's what she is. She'll be one step away from governor. You have an attorney general candidate who's a psycho. Now, he's running against this guy who everybody's praising, the attorney general Republican. He's a rhino. He's a rhino in every respect. In fact, today he told people, you can ticket split. You know, you can vote for me and vote for Democrats. Rhino. And yet, he's better than the alternative. But he should never be lieutenant governor or governor. I will tell you that right now. Never. He wants to hold on to attorney general, and I'm sure he'll do a better job than who he's running against. He's not one of us. I have the guts to tell you that. People who are not from Virginia going off on TV about how great this guy is. People in Virginia on talk radio going off about how great this guy is. He's not great. He's a rhino, but a rhino's better than a psycho. And the Democrat is ill, in my view, mentally unhinged. Talking about killing a political adversary, watching his children, his minor children die in the arms of their mother. This guy shouldn't be close to the silverware during Thanksgiving. He should only have a straw and a spoon. That's it. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. We've got a lot more. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Folks, I have a question for you. Do you believe America's best days are still ahead? With the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence coming up in less than a year, my friends at the Heritage Foundation are taking stock of the current situation, and they need your input. They've launched a survey on America's future to gauge how Americans feel right now about where we are as a nation and where we're headed in the next 250 years. You know, for decades, your American values have been under attack, but now, with President Trump's administration in office, we have an opportunity to turn the tide and usher in a new golden age for America. But the Heritage Foundation needs to hear from you. What policies do patriots like you most care about? What do you believe are the defining principles of America? What legacy do you believe we should pass on to the next generation? Please visit heritage.org/Levin today and share your feedback and help shape the future of America. That's heritage.org/LEVIN. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation. So we're doing what we do every consequential election night. And every consequential race, if your race is going on in your state or town, they're consequential, like in Pennsylvania. You have 3 Supreme Court justice slots open with these radical left-wing justices. They're lawyers, most of them out of Philadelphia, most of them backed by the teachers' unions. Did great damage to the challenges in Pennsylvania, the legitimate constitutional challenges in 2020. And these are 3 of the Supreme Court justices where you need to get out and do something about this. If you're driving home in a car or pickup truck or an 18-wheeler, if you're sitting around at the dinner table right now and very comfortable listening to the radio program or watching television, you need to go vote. for the sake of your own liberties, for the sake of the future of the country. Pennsylvania is a key state. These are radical, left-wing teacher union lawyers who are on the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. And if they win the retention vote, and the Democrats are pushing very, very hard, your left-wing governor's pushing very, very hard, then I believe they're on there another 10 or 15 years. So you'll be punished, and your children will be punished, and your grandchildren will be punished, probably for as long as you live. So you need to do something about that, and you vote no on retention. It's that simple. No. No. For the justices. You have a big, big vote. People say, what do we do about these federal judges? Well, we don't vote for them. But in Pennsylvania, you do vote for your judges. And these are the highest court judges you've got. So make them know that you're out there and you don't approve of what they've done, and send them back to their law firm. That's all they are, lawyers in black robes. Get rid of them. No for retention. No, that's the vote. Now we swing back to Virginia because it closes in 35 minutes. If you're in your car, if you're in your pickup truck, if you're in a delivery truck, I don't care where you are. If you're at home and you're going to leave it up to somebody else to take care of business, well, then you're going to deserve what you get. You're going to get a Marxist, Islamist lieutenant governor. You're going to get a governor who supports men in women's showers, that is, locker rooms, bathrooms. Same with the high schools and the middle schools. This governor supports that, unlike Youngkin, who's been fighting it. You're going to get also in a cabinet, administrative positions filled with these radical kooks. You'll never be able to pry them loose. Your state's going to become a sanctuary state. It's not a sanctuary state, Virginia. They're going to make it a sanctuary state. So if you think your state is overwhelmed with illegal aliens now, you ain't seen nothing yet. The Democrats who are running in this race in Virginia are every bit as radical. Every bit as radical as the radicals on the national scene. Every bit. Spanberger's been playing the game that she has a CIA background or something of that sort. She's no moderate. None. She's a radical. Why do you think Obama woke up, decided while he's busy destroying part of Chicago with that disgusting building he's building to slap his name on it, violating all the zoning rules and everything else, a $1 billion mausoleum, that's what it looks like, comes into Virginia and he says, vote for Spanberger. He doesn't know anything about her. Except she's a Democrat and she's a radical. That should tell you everything you need to know. Obamacare is imploding. He's responsible for that. He did that. He did that. And in New Jersey, your polls close at 8 p.m. You have a wonderful candidate running for governor, like Virginia. Wonderful candidate. Two of the biggest complaints you have are on your property taxes, which he says he's going to slash. She's not. Mikey's not going to. And your electricity bill. Your electricity bill is through the roof because the Democrats put it through the roof. If you got back to normal energy, it would drop like a rock. I'll be right back. We're coming upon the 250th birthday of the United States, and it has me thinking, what will America look like 250 years from now? My friends at the Heritage Foundation want to know what you think. What policies should America prioritize? What principles should carry us into the decades ahead? As America enters a new golden age, Heritage recognizes that this is the time to take stock and to be intentional about how we shape the future of America. And they can't do it without your input. So please go to heritage.org/LEVIN and let them know what you think is important. Without patriots like you stepping up and speaking up for what you believe in, America as we know it can't survive for another 250 years. Please go to heritage.org/Levin, heritage.org/LEVIN. Take the survey on America's future. future. This survey takes less than 10 minutes to complete, but it is critical for making sure that the America we pass on to future generations is an America we're proud of. Go to heritage.org/Levin today. That's heritage.org/LEVIN. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
The Mark Levin Show, live and national at 877-381-3811.
You know, the great thing, at least theoretically, is we can rally enough of our fellow citizens to wake up to what's taking place in each of these states and the city of New York. We have the opportunity to prevent it. Virginians can prevent their state from becoming a sanctuary state with masses of new illegal immigrants. Virginians can prevent massive tax increases on income taxes and property taxes. They can do that this evening with their vote. They can prevent the abuse of our children with boys and men and girls and women's locker rooms and bathrooms in our middle schools and high schools, and all that comes from it. And force these schools to continue the focus on education rather than perversion. You have the ability in Virginia to prevent this, because the Democrat Party is not a party of the people. It's a party of certain people that does not share the common values of Virginians. It simply does not. It's pushing an agenda that was hatched by radical think tanks, Islamist front groups, Soros-funded Marxist operations. That's what the Democrat Party is. So even if you feel you have an allegiance to it, they don't have an allegiance to you. None. So whatever your background, whatever your faith, and all the rest of it, you either vote in your best interests and the best interests of your children and grandchildren, the best interests of your neighborhood and community, the best interests of your state, or you're going to lose it. It's that simple. And you have an opportunity, a real opportunity, to send a message throughout Virginia and throughout the country. It's up to you. You literally have 24 minutes to get to the polls. Once you're in line, they can't stop you from voting. So if you can get there and get in line, you'll make a huge difference. Close is not good enough. That was a close election. You know, we could have won it 1, 2, 3%. I don't know what the outcome of the election is going to be. Why does that matter? We have a civic duty. You know, people go off to war to defend their liberty and the liberty of the country. People go off to war to protect their families. People go off to war to uphold our principles and belief systems. You don't have to go off to war. Just go off to the precinct and vote before they close. That's all. It's that simple. And if you're concerned about the number of people who are coming into the country who become naturalized who are going to vote Democrat, then that puts more pressure on you if you've come into the country and you're going to vote Republican, or if you're a citizen and you're going to vote Republican, to leave wherever you are and go to the polling place. Now, I happen to know that in and around Northern Virginia, there's probably a lot of traffic today. You know, they let the teachers' unions off. They let them off Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. To do what? To organize their vote and get out their vote. If you can hear me, and everyone in Virginia can hear me, I don't care where you are in Virginia, you hear me. We're all over the place. That canard, you know, your vote counts. People have died to make sure you could vote. They protested to make sure you could vote. So vote. What's stopping you? We've got to get it in our heads. That's why this platform is so important. Not just radio generally, mine right here, 6 to 9 p.m., all over the country. All over the Commonwealth of Virginia, the state of New Jersey, the city of New York. We're everywhere, like air and water. So it's up to you. In most countries, you don't get to vote. But you're literally going to be voting in elections in both states and in all three elections and in the city of New York for your liberty, for your private property, for your paycheck, for your rights. Who do you want to hand power over to? Like my book on power talks about. Who do you want to hand power on to? More times than not, and this is very unfortunately, especially in Europe, but here in this country, people vote for their own demise because they buy the BS. Or they were raised as Democrats, so they want something for free. It's not free when you have to give up your liberty and your property. It's not free when your children are forced to go in the bathrooms of the opposite sex. There's a price to pay, a financial price to pay, a moral price to pay, a familial price to pay. The Democrat Party in Virginia is the same as the Democrat Party, what it's become in New York City, in New Jersey. In New Jersey, if you're upset about your property taxes, who the hell do you think did that to you? If you're upset about your electric prices, especially now, because these fools, even Bill Gates says, hi, climate change is a hoax. He says it in so many words. You've got an entire Democrat Party, entire state government that is choking off your energy supply. Brownouts and blackouts are just a matter of time. Right now, you're just paying through the nose. But I want you to look at your electric bill. I want you to look at it. And then go to the poll and vote. That's not by accident. That's on purpose. And think about these experiments. These massive windmill propellers in the middle of the ocean. Eyesores right off the beach. Killing whales. To what end? 1,000 years from now, they're going to talk about how stupid we were. Praying to the windmills. Praying to the windmills. The Democrat Party is a throwback party. It's not a futuristic party. And the people from New York should learn from this. Affordability. Nothing's affordable in New Jersey. Virtually everything's unaffordable because you have one-party rule. And you've had one-party rule. You know, Thomas Kean, the incredibly popular Republican governor of past, he doesn't always endorse. Today, he endorsed the Republican for governor. He endorsed the Republican. Sherrill. Because the circumstances in New Jersey are getting dire. People are going to start losing their homes. They can't afford the property taxes and the electric bills on top of everything else. And when electric bills go up, everything that uses electricity goes up. You go to the store, your food prices go up. You go to the deli, your food prices go up. Everything goes up. Say enough. Your voice will be heard not only in New Jersey, but across the country. Cut out the crap. You don't want to be experiments. You're not guinea pigs. All you have to do is vote, and vote the right way, and put your foot down. You don't get a lot of opportunities to be heard. They'll hear your vote. Virginia, they'll hear your vote. Democrats in Virginia, break out of the mindset. Break out of the indoctrination. Break out. And taste the freedom and the opportunity you have. In New Jersey, embrace the freedom and the opportunity you have. You've had Republican governors in New Jersey, and you lived much better. You've had Republican governors in Virginia, and you've lived much better. Problem is, you have a lot of people in both states who weren't there when you had Republican governors, who are new entrants into your state by hook or by crook, who are voting. And they want to vote to redistribute from you your paycheck, your pension check, to them. They want to vote for people who are going to take your money if you're a hardworking individual in New Jersey, a hardworking individual in Virginia, you're stuck in traffic, you got to drive this. Oh, my God, the traffic's murder in both states. Every damn morning, every damn night. It affects your family, it affects your welfare, it affects you mentally. And then you're told that you're going to get a bigger chunk of your paycheck taken to pay for some schlub who just comes into your state, who sits on their ass, who just wants it. Wants subsidies for this, wants subsidies for that. No! Say no! Just say no. If you're not used to voting for Republican, it's okay. You won't get an electric shock if you go in a machine and you do it. These are largely blue states. Largely blue states. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Folks, I have a question for you. Do you believe America's best days are still ahead? With the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence coming up in less than a year, my friends at the Heritage Foundation are taking stock of the current situation, and they need your input. They've launched a survey on America's future to gauge how Americans feel right now about where we are as a nation and where we're headed in the next 250 years. You know, for decades, your American values have been under attack, but now, with President Trump's administration in office, we have an opportunity to turn the tide and usher in a new golden age for America. But the Heritage Foundation needs to hear from you. What policies do patriots like you most care about? What do you believe are the defining principles of America? What legacy do you believe we should pass on to the next generation? Please visit heritage.org/Levin today and share your feedback and help shape the future of America. That's heritage.org/LEVIN. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation. Well, if you get in line in Virginia, you get to vote. You've got 11 minutes. So if you're on the road or near a precinct or you're at a restaurant or at home, you got to leave immediately. Get to your precinct and vote. It's that simple. Save your state. Are you in for a hell of a time for 4 years? I can tell you that right now. You're in for a hell of a time in Virginia. You won't know what the hell happened to your state, your schools, indoctrination of your children. Can't even go to the bathroom without controversy. The books and the libraries, the perversion. Your taxes will be significantly increased in order to pay for all of it. You won't have any say about it. You're going to have a lieutenant governor who is a breath away from becoming the governor. She is a Marxist Islamist. She's a radical, just like Mamdani. We know that because Sassor said that she's one of the major candidates, that she and Soros and CARE and the rest of the Marxist Islamist infrastructure have gotten behind, and she's under the radar right now. Nobody's focusing on her. So it's a big deal. And if you're going to go in there and vote for the Republican Attorney General because you hate the guy, the Democrat, who's a real psycho, do not do what he said, which is you can split the ticket and vote for him and not for the others. I don't know what kind of campaign that is. Even if he gets elected, I'm not going to let him live that down. That is real throwing people under the bus crap. As far as I'm concerned, just pull the straight ticket. Or each individual one. You have 9 minutes to get to the precinct and get in line and just stay in line. If there is a line, there may not even be. Off-year elections are notorious. That said, in New York City, apparently there was record voting, Mr. Producer. Record voting. New Jersey, you have more time. You have a little over an hour. New Jersey, you have a little more than an hour. If you're proud and you voted, you should be. But you're not done. You have family members, you have friends, people in the neighborhood. Well, I mean, how did they vote? Are they with you or against you? If they're against you, the hell with them. If they're with you, can't you prod them? Tell them to do something? Maybe you're walking your dog or something as I'm talking? You come across neighbors? It's just not enough. Our numbers are not big enough in these blue states. We got to help other people turn out and encourage them to do it. And encourage them to do it. You know, it only took about 15, 18 years to turn Virginia from bright red to blue. That's it. That's it. Now, keep in mind, these are all Democrat areas. Virginia, largely. New Jersey, heavily. New York City, incredibly heavily. And any loss in any of these locations will be twisted by the media and the Democrats as a defeat for Trump. To try and create the national psychology out of all this. So you have a big responsibility, those of you who are voting. A big responsibility. And of course, if Republicans win, they will discredit Trump. It won't matter. But we know the difference. The people know the difference. Doesn't matter what they think. In that regard, that's for sure. All right. Well, here we are. It's 6:55. If you're on your way to your precinct in Virginia or New Jersey, don't stop. Get in line or get to the door of the precinct, and you're there and you get to vote. Don't give up. This is the last inch of the last yard of the last mile. And if you're close, get in there. And in New Jersey, you have time. Not forever, that's for sure. It's right at the end of the process. I'll be going off the air in about 45 seconds. I feel like you have a responsibility to yourself and to your family. Anybody couldn't hear me right now. People in Pennsylvania, you have a responsibility to yourself and your family to start to clean out that Supreme Court in your state, which is radical left activists. They're not judges and justices. They are political hacks. They're rogues. You can fix this. A lot of people aren't paying attention to these things except the special interests like the teachers' unions. So Virginians, if you're close to the precinct now, please get in line or get at the door and stay there. New Jerseyans, if you haven't voted yet, let's go. Get a hold of family members and neighbors. There's no time to waste. You got to move lickety split. Pennsylvania, you got to take care of your Supreme Court and take care of it now. Vote no on retention. I'll be right back. This segment of the podcast is exclusively sponsored by Pure Talk. Pure Talk offers great coverage and can save your family money on your wireless bill every single month. Go to puretalk.com to find the plan that's right for you. Thank you again for listening, and thank you so much for this sponsorship, Pure Talk.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Democrats are fighting desperately to hold off a Republican win for the governorship. They like one-party state rule. Are you aware, ladies and gentlemen, that the Democrats have controlled the legislature for 20 straight years? 20 straight years. And they've controlled the governorship for about half that amount. So if you're having problems with property taxes and electricity bills, you really can't blame the Republicans. And here you have a man who's running as Republican for governor, who's a businessman, a very successful businessman. Just like President Trump, who's endorsed him. And so I think it is highly important, if you're at home or if you're in the car, that you get to your precinct. Your precinct's probably where it's always been, and vote. That's all. Vote. There are people all over the world that don't have an opportunity to vote, and they suffer. Well, there's fake voting systems, where the outcome is certain. 90-95% for the genocidal dictator. Democrat Party always thinks it has New Jersey in the bag. And they govern that way. So you got to shake things up in New Jersey. Now, some of you listening say, I voted Republican. Aren't I great? Yes, you are. And you deserve to be praised. But now, with 53 minutes left, and that's it, you probably have your cell phone in your hand right now, right? You're looking at sports scores or news, listening to music, whatever you're doing. I have a suggestion. Call 3 or 4 people now who you know who will vote the right way, and make sure they voted. And if they haven't, tell them, get the hell to the precinct and get in line. Or if there's no line, get in there, because they can't turn you back as long as you're there by 8 p.m. sharp, Eastern. And that's how you win an election. That's how you surprise the pundits. That's how you surprise the pollsters. They say it's close. That should be enough of a reason to do something about it, in my humble opinion. Well, we're going to do a little bit of information in the middle of this. Mamdani is on the Morning Schmo show today, and he wants you to know that he does, in fact, support the Jew-hating, Israel-hating BDS movement. Cut 2, Mr. Producer, go.
I've talked to Jewish New Yorkers who like your message of affordability. They think it's the right message, but then they go back and they say, well, he supports BDS. He won't condemn the language of globalize the Intifada. He seemed to play both sides after October 7th in his initial statement. They're deeply worried that you have some animosity for Jewish people and for the state of Israel. How do you respond to that?
Look, I think critiques of the state of Israel are critiques of a government, as opposed to critiques of a people.
You're such a filthy liar. You said you don't believe it should be a Jewish state. That's the Jewish people. You never said that any of these Arab states shouldn't be Muslim states, did you? Did you? And yet, they are more Muslim in terms of their states than Israel is Jewish in terms of its state. But you have a hyper-focus like Fuentes and Carlson and Owens, like Tlaib and Omar and Sanders and AOC and the other racists and bigots and Jew haters and anti-American crowd on this tiny little speck of a democracy and its 9 million people, not all of whom are Jewish. It's a critique of the state and the government, he says. It's a democracy. They elect a government. Has he given a critique of any other state and government in the Middle East? Name one. No. How about Qatar? How about Qatar? That funds his family and his mother to the tune of God knows how much, millions? No criticism there. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Go ahead.
And my job is to represent every single New Yorker, and I will do so no matter their thoughts.
No, you won't do so. You've already said that white New Yorkers are going to be taxed higher in whiter neighborhoods. You've already said that. You've already singled out the Jews for special mistreatment. You've already done that. You've already singled out the NYPD, the cops, for special abuse. You're not going to treat all the citizens the same way. In fact, you made it clear that you're going to treat non-citizens who are here, that is in New York, illegally, with special privilege. You're going to give them tons of freebies. Let's go to cut 4, Mr. Producer. Go.
Yeah, explain the difference. What is the difference between a Democrat, a democratic socialist, and a communist?
Well, I'm a democratic socialist who's also a Democrat.
Right.
And when I say I'm a democratic socialist, I explain it in the words of Dr. King from decades ago.
I'm so sick of this, too. And Joe should have been aware of this and been prepared for it. I'm not asking you about Dr. King, who was not a socialist. I'm asking you about you. Did he ask Mamdani about all the money flooding in from Soros? Did he ask Mamdani about all the money flowing in from Linda Sarsour and her entities? Did he ask Mamdani about the CAIR PAC, P-A-C, CAIR, C-A-I-R, a Hamas front group that Linda Sarsour says has raised more money and has been more effective in his campaign than any other campaign? Why not? Why let this guy self-define and then provide his own definitions? That's why he wouldn't come on this show. Mamdani would not come on this show. That's simple. Now listen to this, cut 6. Go.
What do you say, though, on the question of affordability? Let's just take the $30 minimum wage to the guy who owns the dry cleaner.
You understand he wants a $30 minimum wage in New York City, right? So let's say you put in 10 hours. Most of us put in 10. Some of us put in 16. I know I do. I know Mr. Producer does. But whatever it is, let's say 10 to make it easy. $300 a day times 5. You're running a business. You got 10 employees. How do you even get started with a minimum wage like that, Mr. Producer? You can't. It's impossible. Because in addition to that, you have to pay for health care, you have to make pension contributions, you have to make unemployment compensation contributions. Every city has a whole bunch of requirements. Plus, you have to have capital to build, to have an inventory, to maintain. It's an impossibility. Simply impossible. Go ahead.
The nail or hair salon, all these small businesses that you've grown up around and see on your block all the time say, I can't afford to pay people $30. I'm going to have to either lay people off or close my business. How do you explain that?
Well, this would be phased in over a longer period of time for small businesses, as is typically done when you're increasing the minimum wage. And
excuse me, nobody increases the minimum wage to $30, moron. The guy is an extraordinary demagogue, and the media are simply without the brain power to confront this. They simply are. Let me ask you a question, Mr. and Mrs. America. Let's say you own a pizzeria. You're going to sit around and wait for the phase-in of a $30 minimum wage? No. You're going to be looking around to get the hell out of the city. Maybe you'll go to the suburbs. Maybe you'll go to another state. Who knows? But you're not going to sit around and wait for the phasing in, because here's the deal. Phase in over what time? 5 years? How much can you charge for a pizza? How much can you charge for a bagel? Falafel, for those who eat that. How much can you charge for this stuff? You can't charge enough. You're certainly not going to hire more employees. You'll go broke. You're going to try and mechanize so you don't go broke. Meanwhile, you're going to have a whole bunch of people on the dole. You're going to have a whole bunch of people who expect to get something for nothing. And you're going to put a squeeze on business, small, medium, and large. And it's an impossibility to survive in an environment like that. So they go under. Or they just voluntarily get the hell out of there. This guy throws around things. $30 minimum wage. Okay, $30 minimum wage at a government-run grocery store that charges almost nothing. How's that going to work, Mr. Producer? It can't. Go ahead.
In terms of concerns are similar ones we heard when we increased the minimum wage here in New York City before. What it comes back to is the fact that today, to live in this city, you have to already be earning $30 an hour, pretty much. And so
no, you don't. Number one, you don't have to live in the city. You can come and go from the city. But you have to be earning $30. It's not an answer to anything. You have to be earning $30. If you don't have a job, you're not earning anything. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
There's a reason I'm proud to say Pure Talk is my wireless company. because they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, especially when it comes to supporting our veterans. This month, Pure Talk is choosing to support Canines for Warriors, an incredible organization that rescues and trains dogs, then pairs them with veterans struggling with PTSD. These are men and women who serve with honor, but when they come home, their brotherhood and support network they had in the military too often disappears. Canines for Warriors steps up to fill the gap, giving these heroes purpose, companionship, and healing. That's exactly why Pure Talk, a veteran-led company, supports them. Choose a wireless company that shares your values, and with talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, you could also be saving a ton of money. Go to puretalk.com/Levin to make the switch today. Again, go to puretalk.com/LEVIN and switch to America's wireless company, my wireless company, Pure Talk. New Jersey, you're up. You're in the box. You're in the box. You got 40 minutes, 39 minutes to be precise, and I am. Some of you are in your car, your truck. You're saying, well, what am I going to do? It's too late. Standing up at the gas pump, maybe? Maybe just pulled into your garage or into the driveway. You're walking into the house. Maybe you're sitting at the house. You're listening to me over the radio. A lot of people are doing that. You're thinking, yeah, I'm tired. I got up early. I really don't. I'm telling you now. Change that attitude immediately. Your precinct is open. It's closed in Virginia. Your precinct in New Jersey is open. You've got a shot at winning the governorship. You've got a shot at lowering your property taxes. You've got a shot at lowering your electricity bills, to put aside the insanity of these ideological leftists. Yes, we like gasoline. Yes, we like oil. Yes, we like electricity. This was always a phony proposition. And besides, New Jersey is one state can't carry the burden of the whole East Coast, or even the country, and be the one state that conducts itself this way, and then the people have to pay through the nose. Why do you put up with that? And why do you put up with these insane property taxes? I need our services. There's a lot of states out there, many of them are blue, that don't have the property taxes that you have in New Jersey. I don't know of any state that has the electricity bill that you have in New Jersey. So if the Democrats come in, that electricity bill is going to go up even higher. Your property taxes are going to go up even higher. Mikey has no plan to lower anything. Period. She can't. The radical left controls her too. She's not a blue-collar Democrat. She's not a middle-class Democrat. She's not a working Democrat. She and her husband earn $7 million, and they wouldn't even tell you how. Because they don't want to reveal it. Tell me you make $7 million and you don't know how. Talking about her military record, but she won't talk about the fact that she couldn't actually go in the procession for graduation. Tell me, you folks in the military, is that normal? And she's been able to cover up all the details about it throughout because the media is fully behind her. The federal government shut down. Too bad. I meant to tell this to the people in Virginia, which have a ton of bureaucrats in there now, which is another reason it's gone blue. But who the hell did that? Who voted no 4,000 times? Same for the people in New Jersey. Who voted no 4,000 times? Chuck Schumer has nothing to do with you. That's his fight in New York. That's not your fight in New Jersey. Yet they do this to the whole country. To the whole country. So you're still paying your confiscatory taxes in New Jersey. You're not getting the public services, not from the federal government anyway, because the Democrats shut that down, all in the name of Chuck Schumer. Also, he doesn't lose his seat like we give a damn. They say they care about the little guy. They're screwing the little guy. Who pays the property taxes? The little guy. When you open your mailbox or it's thrown in through your front door, And that electricity bill comes in, and you open the envelope and you look. We have it here with water. It's crazy. And you go, oh, my God, how the hell am I going to pay this? You know, I have a fixed income. I get a certain salary. And everything's chipping away at it. An electricity bill? Guess what? Winter's coming. You know what that means? More electricity, more heat, more natural gas, more oil. All of it. And guess what? Those solar panels aren't going to do the trick. Besides, most of you don't even have them. Those windmills in the ocean, they're not going to do the trick. They're not going to do it. That's why you're paying these massive electricity rates. Because you have these dumbass politicians on the left, these Democrats, who are bought into the left-wing ideology. They have funded these front groups. These front groups lobby them. You talk about special interests, that's it. You need to break the back of that. Even if it means voting against your party. Vote for your family. Vote for your own interests. You have an opportunity in New Jersey to deal with this now. Aren't you also sick of boys and girls' bathrooms? Aren't you sick of that? Aren't you sick of transitioning children, prepubescent children? Aren't you sick of that too? The Democrat Party has left you. It's left you. The question is whether you're going to leave it. That's a real question, you know. And you should. Even if you're a diehard Democrat, the only way to get back a Democrat Party that represents you is to throw these bums out, is to send a message. That's it. We have some incoming numbers, very limited number of the vote, 4% in Virginia. It's hard to tell from the map where it's coming from, isn't it, Mr. Producer? But that Northern Virginia is a real pain in the ass for the whole state, I can tell you that. With 4% of the vote in, Abigail Spanberger, the radical kook Democrat, 53.3. Winsome Earle-Sears, 46.5. Again, there's part of the states that are bright red and part bright blue, and we don't know where it's coming from yet. For Attorney General, Mayeris has a slight lead, 50.7%. Remember, this is the rhino who said, vote for me even if they split your ticket. And the psycho, the Democrat, is at 48.9%. And Lieutenant Governor Ghazala Hashmi, the Marxist Islamist, is at 51%. And John Reed, the Republican, is at 48.7%. That's where we are, with actually 5% of the vote in. New Jersey, get moving. By the time this commercial's over, you're going to have 27 minutes to get to the polls. I'll be right back. There's a reason I'm proud to say Pure Talk is my wireless company. Because they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, especially when it comes to supporting our veterans. This month, Pure Talk is choosing to support Canines for Warriors, an incredible organization that rescues and trains dogs, then pairs them with veterans struggling with PTSD. These are men and women who serve with honor, but when they come home, their brotherhood and support network they had in the military too often disappears. Canines for Warriors steps up to fill the gap, giving these heroes purpose, companionship, and healing. That's exactly why Pure Talk, a veteran-led company, supports them. Choose a wireless company that shares your values. And with talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, you could also be saving a ton of money. Go to puretalk.com/Levin to make the switch today. Again, go to puretalk.com/LEVIN and switch to America's wireless company, my wireless company, Pure Talk.
This is the home of America's founding. Call in now, 877-381-3811.
And so it is, New Jersey. You're in the box. You're up. You've got 26, 25 minutes to get to your precinct. Do you get there, get in line, or get to the door, get inside, because they can't turn you back. This can be a very, very close election night. Unless you don't show up, then it can be a blowout. I am looking at some of the votes coming in here, and some of these big counties haven't come in yet. in Virginia. Bear with me, I know this state quite well. They're starting to come in, and they're coming in big in terms of, let's see, 60% of the vote so far in Loudoun County has gone to a Democrat for lieutenant governor. She's a Marxist Islamist with 40% for the Republican. Let's take another look. Let's look at the biggest county in the state, and it's big. So far, nothing's come in, but that's going to go Democrat. What else do we have here? Stick with me, America. Just giving you a taste of what's taking place. And again, no offense to my brothers and sisters in Virginia and New Jersey and New York City. It's not representative of the whole country. It just isn't. These are very blue areas. We're hoping that blue-collar workers in New Jersey vote for their own self-interest, because it's crucially important. Or property taxes are going up, and your electricity bills are going up even further. That's what's going to happen. And so very, very important to get out and vote. If you're in your car or your truck right now, don't go home. Go to the precinct. If you've just pulled into your driveway or your garage or parking on the street, well, rev up your engine and get out of there and get to the precinct. If you're sitting around the dinner table talking about the good old days, you better talk about the future days for your family and get in your vehicle and get to your precinct. You have an obligation to those people, your family, to take care of this in the state of New Jersey. Or you're going to get a terrible outcome, a very terrible outcome, an outcome that you're going to be suffering from for the next 4 years. And unfortunately, it's going to be an outcome that those of you who vote for the current political party are going to have created for yourselves. I mean, honestly, Mikie, that candidate, just horrendous. Horrendous on the issues, horrendous on ethics, and economic illiterate. And more people are going to leave the state. No, that's not necessarily true. More and more illegal immigrants will enter the state. More and more fundamentalists will enter the state. And more other people, citizens born in the state, they're going to leave. So you got to vote even for your own best interests now. It's very important in the state of New Jersey. Now, it's important in New York and Virginia, too. It's important in every state. But you're up now, and you have an opportunity to fix things. You have an opportunity to do something about what's taking place. I'm looking at Virginia. Let's see, 17% of the vote in. Again, these heavy Democrat sections of the state are coming in, but a lot of the rural parts that are obviously Republican are not in yet either. So we just don't know where these votes are coming from. The maps are too convoluted for me. But we see with 18% of the vote in, again, I don't know where they're coming from. Ghazala Hashmi, running for lieutenant governor, has 56% of the vote. John Reed, the Republican, has 44% of the vote. Not clear to me where this vote is coming from. I'm looking at Loudoun County, which is Republican, almost 80% of the vote in from there. I'm looking at Fairfax County, 32% of the vote in there. That's the biggest of the counties. Let's see here. Stick with me, America. I'm no Bill Hemmer, but I'm giving it a shot, you know. Let's see here. Interesting. Irrelevant. Interesting. All right. Apparently, Arlington County and other left-wing counties fallen off the map here. So let's take a look at some of the other bigger parts. Virginia Beach tends to go Republican. Norfolk, believe it or not, even though it's the biggest subplace in the country, that in San Diego, that tends to go to Republican too. A lot of the state is red, and a lot of the state hasn't counted yet. That's with 19% of the vote in. Hashmi has 56. This guy, John Reed, has 44. Oh, and they're happy to tell us that John Reed, if he's elected, lieutenant governor would be the first gay Republican lieutenant governor in the country. Of course, they never point out that Winston Sears would be the first black woman governor. Let's take a look at the attorney general race in Virginia. Jay Jones, the psycho, as of right now, with 20% of the vote in, has 53.3% of the votes. Jason Miyares has 47.6% of the vote. So we'll find out if the Miyares game plan at the end, which was vote for me, you don't have to vote for the other Republicans, you can split your ballot. Let's see if that worked. It's kept it closer. And the fact that he's running against a absolute psychopath. Now, in the governor's race, where they spent a ton of money, Spanberger is at 56.3% of the vote. Check that. Just changed with 20% in. 57.6% of the vote. Winston Sears, 42.2% of the vote. That's going to be tough to pull out, the governorship for the Republicans. And I would say the lieutenant governor race and the attorney general race are too close to call, but the Democrats lead in that. And one more check here. Loudoun County, Democrat county, my county, 91% of the vote in. The Democrats got 59% of the vote. For attorney general, the Republican is 40% of the vote. That's actually okay under those circumstances. In Fairfax County, 31% of the vote. This is where we get clobbered. Jones, under no rational citizenry would this happen, has 31% of the vote, 69.2% of the vote. Miyares has 30.2% of the vote. And this is always the problem, these massive counties that cover the side of across the Potomac, Washington, D.C., where you basically have people who've moved there from Washington, D.C., from Maryland, heavily bureaucratic, just is what it is. They vote Democrat, and obviously they're confused about who has shut down the government. They're confused about it. I don't know what else to say. Prince William County, listen to this. 11% of the vote in. This used to be a Republican county. 74.5% of the vote in on Attorney General for the Democrat. Now, that's too early to tell anything. Too early to tell anything. So these big counties are starting to come in for the Democrats. Arlington County, which is the bluest of the counties outside of Washington, but the smallest of the highly populated counties, 15% of the vote in. 71.3% for the psychopath Attorney General Democrat, 27.8% for Miyares. I know. Could be a blowout, maybe not. It just depends. On where these votes are coming from. I think the governor's race is all but over. That's my guess. It's only 22% of the vote in. I don't want to get ahead of my skis here. Everybody's voted who's supposed to vote, so I'm not giving away the ship here, and I never would. The closest race is for Attorney General with a slight lead of the Democrat, but that could change because it's close enough. And the second one is Lieutenant Governor. Let's see, with 22% of the vote. Again, that can change, but that is 55.4 to 44.3. Okay. Now we move to our friends in New Jersey. We're not counting anything yet. You've got 17 minutes. 17 minutes to make sure that you don't lose your state. And you don't lose your pants or your dress with these expensive bills. We're going to see what happens. And I want to remind everybody, these are blue states. You know, the Virginia election 4 years ago with Youngkin and Sears and Miyares, people were so disgusted what was happening with the schools in the state, and so disgusted that Terry McAuliffe was violating the historic traditions in Virginia. I mean, Virginia is an old state, one of the original colonies, that he decided to run for a second term, even though it was not consecutive, so technically he could. He would have been the first governor elected who did that. Plus, he openly sided with the teachers' unions against the parents. There was a parental revolt. And I suspect if the Democrat wins the governorship again, there's going to have to be another parental vote because they're going to pull this right back into hell. They are. And you've got almost a quarter of the vote in, and the Democrats are leading for every statewide race. You might be able to overcome the attorney general race. It's getting harder to overcome the lieutenant governor race. And I don't see... Do you, Mr. Producer? I don't see the Republican. I don't see Sears beating Spanberger now, unfortunately. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. In New Jersey, you've got 15 minutes. And I would encourage you, excuse me, I would encourage you, if you haven't voted, 15 minutes hopefully is enough time to get to the precinct, get in line or get to the door, and they have to allow you to vote. Otherwise, you're going to lose New Jersey. That's what's going to happen. You're outnumbered in these blue states. We've got to have some patriotic, moderate, blue-collar Democrats turn out and protect themselves, for God's sakes. Protect their own families. Lower the energy bills. Lower the property taxes. Or people are going to suffer. And you know what the Democrats will do? They'll blame Trump, even though they're the ones responsible for the price of fuel and property taxes. I mean, nobody pays the property taxes that you pay in New Jersey. Nobody. Literally nobody in the country. And you're getting to the point that nobody pays the electric bill that everybody does in New Jersey. So that's not a national issue. It's not a federal government issue. That's not a Donald Trump or Republican issue. It's a Democrat issue. They've done that to the great people of New Jersey. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
There's a reason I'm proud to say Pure Talk is my wireless company, because they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, especially when it comes to supporting our veterans. This month, Pure Talk is choosing to support Canines for Warriors, an incredible organization that rescues and trains dogs, then pairs them with veterans struggling with PTSD. These are men and women who serve with honor, but when they come home, that brotherhood and support network they had in the military too often disappears. Canines for Warriors steps up to fill the gap, giving these heroes purpose, companionship, and healing. That's exactly why Pure Talk, a veteran-led company, supports them. Choose a wireless company that shares your values, and with talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, you could also be saving a ton of money. Go to puretalk.com/Levin to make the switch today. Again, go to puretalk.com/LEVIN and switch to America's wireless company, my wireless company, Pure Talk. You know what, America, all I can say is this. Thank God we have a home and my residency in Florida. I'm not kidding. You look at these candidates who are being nominated by the Democrats and winning office. You've got one reputable online election desk that's calling the governorship and lieutenant governorship of Virginia for the Democrats, as close as the lieutenant governor race is. Now, the lieutenant governor is Mamdani in address. Almost no attention brought to this except by me. I'm warning you, New Jersey, you got 9 minutes to go vote, or you're going to have the same outcome. The governor's race, right now it's about a 10-point spread. That's been called by this reputable online election desk for the Democrats. The Attorney General race has not been called yet, with a slight lead by the Democrat. So the Republican definitely could pull it out. Mayeris, of course, he's the weakest of the bunch, but nonetheless better than them. And you're talking about 50.2% to 49.4% with 27% of the vote in. So we'll see where that goes. But looking at the counties, knowing which party they are, looking at how they've been voting over the course of the night in Virginia, they're able to make predictions. And it's easier to make a prediction within a state than it is in 50 states. If you're wondering, wow, these predictions are often wrong. They are often wrong. But within a state, they're wrong less. Doesn't mean they're perfect, but they're wrong less, because it's easier to get right down to the precinct and the county and figure it all out and look at the voting patterns, because you have almost 30% of the vote in, and it tells you a lot. Now, New Jersey, you have 7 minutes. That's it. When we come back, the New Jersey polls will be closed. If you're close to your polling place, don't stop. Get there. If you're there, don't leave. We will see what happens in the state of Virginia, if the good guys win or if they lose. And if they lose, your property taxes will go up, your energy bills will go up, and your lifestyle will go down. It's that simple. Your kids will have sexually mixed bathrooms, sexually mixed gymnasium lockers, as they do now. You'll still have massive numbers of legal and illegal immigrants pouring into New Jersey for the welfare benefits and the other benefits. And if you vote for that, that's what you're going to get, because that's what the Democrat Party today stands for, whether you're a registered Democrat or not. That's the nature of things. That's what's going to happen. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look around. Just look around. Now, the latest in New Jersey, the latest in Virginia is the Attorney General's race. A little less than 8,000 votes separates the Democrat who's leading from the Republican. Now, I want you to think about this. The Democrat's a psychopath. The Republican is a rhino, begging people to split their vote for him, whatever they do for the governor, lieutenant governor. What a jerk. I'm just saying, the vote's out. You know, our friends on the cable networks and radio have been pushing the hell out of this guy. And he's been pushing the hell out of himself, which is good, but he's left the others behind. And as of now, with 31% of the vote in, Spanberger, the Democrat, is 9.5 points ahead of Sears, the Republican. And at the lieutenant governor race, it's a 58,000 vote spread. The Democrat, the Marxist Islamist, she is 52.6%. And you watch. Starting tonight into the morning, Kerr and the others are going to be celebrating like hell about her. Under the radar, lieutenant governor, one step away from governor of an entire state. It's a Mamdani type. All right, New Jersey, 3 minutes. I'll be right back.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Virginia's closed, and they're losing all three races. The Attorney General race is still quite close. 20,000, 18,000 apart, with 39% of the vote in. Again, I don't know where. The other races look gone, governor and lieutenant governor. New Jersey polls have closed, and we shall see what happens there during the course of our final hour, hour 3. I will be on WABC Live at about 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time with Katz, the owner of the station. And I don't know if there'll be anybody else or not, but there you go. I'm sure there will be. And look, here's the deal. Virginia is going to be a much more radical state than it was. If New Jersey doesn't hold the line, New Jersey will be a much more radical state than it was, and the prices are going to soar, as they will in Virginia. And of course, if Mamdani does what they say he's going to do in New York City, New York City will die not even potentially a slow death, but a fairly quick death. You're dealing with an ideological ignoramus who does not believe in separation of church and state. I should say separation of mosque and state in his case. He is a fundamentalist. He will do severe damage to the economy there. and you're going to lose a lot of businesses. If you don't vote and turn around those polls, God willing, in the next 53 minutes in New York, you will seal your fate. And if you think it won't cover you like a dark cloud, it will. An economy is interlinked. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or in the middle. It doesn't matter if you're union or non-union, public or private sector. It doesn't matter. It all has an impact. So I think, depending on what happens in New Jersey and potentially New York City, you're going to see the radicalization of the Democrat Party. You're going to see significant numbers of Democrats voting for it. Not overwhelming number, but significant number. And now you know why I'm fighting like hell against the Tucker Carlsons and the Fuenteses and the Bannons and the others who are myopic, who they're dancing with Hitler and Stalin and bigots and racists and segregationists, Christian haters and Jew haters is a prescription for massive electoral defeat from which I don't think we'll ever be able to recover. I'm telling you the truth. I've been at this a long time. We win massive landslides with a Reagan and a Trump, who bring in blue-collar voters, who bring in minorities, who bring in women. So if you're attacking Christians and Jews, and you're attacking women, and you're attacking minorities, I'm not talking about affirmative action and that sort of thing. If you're a racist and a bigot and you don't believe in equality, your party will pay the price, and it should. I'm asking you to join with me. I'm asking the politicians in Washington and in our states, join with me. I am proud of more and more podcasters, radio hosts, TV hosts, speaking out and joining me and joining this movement to push back. They're going to destroy this party. They're going to destroy this movement. They're going to destroy conservatism. Not one of them has contributed anything significant or profound to any of these movements. So it's very, very important that we push back, that we take back our institutions, that we make it clear to the general public, most of whom are not Republicans or conservatives. A lot of them aren't sure what they are. That we continue with our message, or continue with our policies, and we do not allow these freaks, frauds, and phonies, these grifters, who are getting rich off their bigotry, who are getting rich off their racism, who are getting rich off their anti-Semitism and anti-Christianity, who are getting rich off of rewriting World War II and dumping on the greatest generation. Who are these people? I ask you out there, who make money the old-fashioned way, who work, or are retired and made money the old-fashioned way. You worked. I ask you, is this who we are? Do we want to lose election after election after election and election? You stick with me and people like me. Stick with me and people like me. The Reagan Revolution, the Tea Party Revolution, the Convention of States. And then we joined with the Trump campaign. Stick with me. Stick with us. Us. And not only are you successful politically, you can live with yourself. You can live with yourself. And you can advance our agenda. I don't know what this election in Virginia has done to the state assembly or the state senate. I fear it's ugly, because the top of the ticket got whipped pretty good. That's my fear. 55 to 45 right now, with 42% of the vote in. That's 150,000 vote spread. And so you have all these delegates running throughout the state. We will see how that turns out. In the Senate, which is crucial, the Democrats have a narrow 21-19 majority. We'll see what happens there. It's hard to know. We will see. Excuse me. We simply cannot afford to be undermined, to be characterized by Carlson, by Fuentes, by Bannon, by Owens, and others who interview them, who give them platforms, who promote them. Free speech, nobody's stopping their free speech. In fact, they don't ever shut the hell up. We have every right to use our own free speech and our own brains, not to fund them, not to listen to them. And so off they go. Off they go. I don't know what this deplatform them or cancel them. It's called the market system. We have it in radio. It's called ratings. And they should go away. These are evil people, evil, who are making millions, tens of millions in some case, appealing to a small fraction of the population, the lowest of the low. I've got to deal with it. I'm their number one target. I got it. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I took them on starting in May or earlier. I saw what was coming. This is bigger than Israel. It's bigger than Judaism. That would be big enough. But this is about red-blooded Americans defending our country, our founding, our belief system, our values, our Judeo-Christian values. So we're caught in a pincer movement right now, with the Marxist Islamists on the one side, and we have really what are neo-Nazis and Klansmen, if you will, on the other side. And so what do? We reject them. We confront them. We don't platform them and debate them. Let's debate the Jews in the ovens. Let's debate whether you're a despicable person with a brain virus if you're Christian and you support Israel. I'm going to debate these people. There's nothing to debate. They need to be dismissed, shamed, rejected out of hand. That's what our morality teaches us. That's what our faith teaches us. That's what Americanism teaches us. It's not so hard. And if our institutions, conservative institutions, can't do it, then they don't deserve to exist. Do they? Some of them sit silently. Well, they don't deserve to exist either. The battle cry is now. The Thomas Paine's out there, the Paul Revere's out there, the time is now. Christians, the time is now. Jews, the time is now. Red-blooded Americans, now. If not now, when? If not you, who? Or we're going to lose the country to the Marxist Islamists and the Democrat Party. We're going to lose it. We are distracted by these miscreants and malcontents. We are distracted. The forces of the left, whether they're in the media, whether they're in academia, whether they're in street politics, they're going to use them to define us. How many stories have I seen in the last week that Fuentes is the face of MAGA? No, he's not. Not in the least. That's because Carlson did that. That's because Bannon did that. And the media run with it. Marjorie Taylor Greene on The View, Bill Maher, they love her now. They know she's a nut. We all know she's a nut. We all know, as an article in National Review said today, she's not for any cause or principle. She's for her own self-aggrandizement and attention from the most Republican district in Georgia. Look at this. We've thrown it away to a literal moron. And they'll come back with their attacks and so forth and so on. That's what they do. That's fine. I don't care. We reject these people, or we become these people by inference. We're silent in the face of this. We acquiesce to this. We're timid to this. They win. They claim to speak for you and me. They claim to speak for MAGA. They claim to speak for the President of the United States. We're here together in what I call the nation's town hall meeting every evening, right here, you and me. Many of us have been doing this for years. Many of us have been doing this for years. And we're going to continue to do it. But I feel that our generation, in some ways, is letting down the next generation. We've allowed these movements to fester in this country. We've allowed the Marxist Islamists to build, to grow. We've allowed foreign money from Qatar and Communist China to pour into our country and fund this. I will fight this every damn step of the way. I don't care who they fund, who supports them, who makes money on them. I don't give a flying crap. It's wrong. We surrendered our colleges and universities so the faculty's filled with America-hating riffraff. We have a lot of work to do. A lot. And if there are politicians out there who are senators and congressmen or in the administration that don't have the guts to speak out, then what good are they? What good are they? The Mamdani family has been funded by Qatar. Isn't that an issue? The Mamdani campaign has been funded by a CARE PAC, PAC, which was founded by Hamas, for God's sakes. Isn't that an issue? Or is Netanyahu the problem? Netanyahu the problem? The IDF the problem? They're fighting their own damn war, trying to survive. And we have our own war. It's not a shooting war. It's even more complicated. It's more daunting. The kooks on the left and the right, they're stealing our culture. This little bastard Fuentes, he likes to say, well, I'm going to deport Levin. Try it, you little punk. Try it. Try it, tough guy. You and me, one-on-one. Why don't you try deporting me? You got that fat slob Bannon going on with his next cause. He's going to denaturalize Mamdani. No, he's not. He's a pathological liar. And he's stolen enough money from you and has deceived enough of you. You should blow him off. Then there's Carlson, making tens of millions of dollars in bed with the wrong people, pretending that he's America first. He's quoted by CARE today. Did you know that? I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Now, this is interesting. Let's see, New Jersey. Looking 26% of the vote in. Again, I don't know where all these votes are coming from. It depends, but this Mikie Sherrill, 61.9% of the vote. Jack Ciattarelli, 37.6% of the vote. That is a spread of 208,000 votes, with 27% of the vote in. That is a big spread, Mr. Producer. Now, let me see if I can figure this damn map out here. We've got, let's see, we've got 2 minutes, but besides that, let's see here. Let us look at, I thought I had it, Bergen County, which is slightly Democrat, but not overwhelmingly. With 35% of the vote in, the Democrat, Sherrill, has 60.5% of the vote. The Republican, Ciattarelli, has 39.1% of the vote. So that's a 26,000 or so vote spread in what is a not an overwhelmingly Democrat county, but nonetheless a Democrat county. Moving around, I'm looking. There are some Republican counties that have not come in. Salem County, but their population is not all that massive. What else? Ocean County, which is Republican. Chitterelli has 63% of the vote. Sherrill has 36.5% of the vote, with 41% of the vote in. Somerset hasn't reported. We have a lot of counties that haven't reported. But we have Essex County, which is a heavy Democrat county, 78.7% for the Democrat, 35% in. We have Passaic. You got a lot of Democrat counties here. If he doesn't win Democrat votes, he can't win. Sussex has not come in yet. I'm looking. Are you telling me I got to go, Mr. Producer? How much time do I have here? All right. Well, that's all I know right now. And with 27% of the vote in, 61.7% for Sherrill, Chitterelli, 37.8%. I'll be right back.
Levin on the front line of liberty. Call in now, 877-381-3811.
You know, the problem that Chitterelli's having, the Republican for governor, is the numbers in these Democrat counties are huge. And you got to be able to chip away at them. You've got to be able to chip away at them. So with about 30% of the vote in, he's chipped away, but not enough. But I do see the fact that some of these Republican counties have not reported in yet. But a lot of the focus is on the Democrat counties and the numbers that come out there. And so Sherrill's at 60.5 and Chitterelli's at 39, so 60-40 with 28% of the vote in. And you still have some Republican counties coming in, but the question is how many people live in these counties. You've got, I'm just looking, folks. As I said, Salem County's not in. It's Republican, but it's not that heavily populated. The Middlesex has not come in yet. Somerset's not come in yet. Warren, not that many people. Sussex, as I mentioned them already. Newark. Hold on here. Bergen, but Bergen is a bellwether in some respects. I mean, it's not a deeply Democrat county, but she's doing very well there. You know, I have my own theory about some of this. I think that so many Republicans already have left these blue states, whether it's New York or New Jersey or even Virginia, that it's starting to have an impact on these state elections. And they're being replaced with whom? With migrants, in many respects. And so here you have the rise of Islamist, fundamental Islamist candidates, not just Muslim candidates. That would be fine. That's not what we're talking about. Radical, fundamentalist, Islamist candidates with ties, literally, to terrorist-supporting imams and organizations. Now that's shocking. Stunning. And we'll see what happens in New York City, the battle there, because Mamdani is a very divisive candidate. He just is. But we'll see if the numbers are overwhelming. A lot of people have left New York City already. I know, I'm in Florida, and I see them, and I speak to them. A lot of people have left Boston. A lot of people have left a lot of these cities, which makes it harder for Republicans to win. But it also means when you look at a nationwide vote, you're winning states that you may not have otherwise won. May make any sense to you, Mr. Producer? I think so. Well, let's finish up with Virginia. Virginia's governor's race with 63% of the vote in, 55-45 the Democrat. The New Jersey governor race, with 29% of the vote in, 60%, 40% the Democrat. Nothing's come in from New York yet, of course. You know, one of the things that is interesting to me, Mr. Producer, is Eric Adams is still on the ballot, even though he's withdrawn. And Andrew Cuomo's all the way down, like number 4 or something. Curtis is number 2. Mamdani is, of course, at the top. So we'll see how that goes. New Jersey governor's race a little tighter, 59.9, 39.6. Not that it matters. I'm just looking at everything, ladies and gentlemen. Just stick with me. So the Democrats have won the governorship and the lieutenant governorship, I believe. Wait a minute. Oh, God. Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Should Justice Donahue retain his seat? It's one of the lefties. Yes, 80%. Should Justice Weck retain his seat? Yes, 80%. People don't even know what they're voting for. They don't even know what they're voting for. And so you have these 3 justices who are running for retention who are radical left-wing Democrats in Pennsylvania, and they're going to win. The lieutenant governor's race in Virginia, the Marxist Islamist, and you'll see Kerr and Sarsour celebrating her. She won, not by a lot, a little over 53% of the vote. The Attorney General's race is still too close, 50.5% to 49.1%, so that'll be a nail-biter for a while, I suppose. What else can I do here? Let's see. New Jersey, it's 30%, but she's got... what do you see there, Mr. Producer? She's up by 195,000 votes. I mean, that's a lot to make up. I hope they can. But I think it's going to be very, very tough. So in about you folks in New York, well, you're still out there. You still get the vote. And so I would if I were you. You don't want a negative outcome. That's probably the toughest race of the bunch. But, you know, I've seen weirder things happen. And let me say this to you, too, folks. As I did even at the beginning of the program before there was one vote counted. These are 3 Democrat strongholds. Virginia is a Democrat state. That doesn't mean Republicans can't win now from time to time. You saw Youngkin do it and so forth. But they're horrendously difficult battles. That's what they are. So Virginia is a blue state that went Republican 4 years ago and has gone blue again, depending on the Attorney General. Might be all 3, who knows. I don't know the House races and the Senate races, but it can't be pretty. In New Jersey, as we're watching now, with only 30% of the vote in, and God knows where, we know some of the Republican counties haven't been counted yet, it's basically 60-40. The Democrat is leading. She's ahead by about 196,000 votes, give or take. That's where that is. And so who knows exactly how that'll end up. I just don't think there's enough Democrat votes or Republican votes. And I pray that I'm wrong. I do. And since all the votes are in, whatever I say is of no consequence anyway. I'm just calling them as I see them. That's all I'm doing. And that'll need to be looked at. But it could be a simple demographics problem now in New Jersey. I could be wrong. But who knows? I just know a ton of people are leaving California. A ton of people are leaving New Jersey and New York and Illinois. They've had enough. They're leaving. It's a great thing about mobility and automobiles and all the rest. You don't have to stay where you are. The biggest problem we have, America, and we've talked about this over the years, is these Democrats want to do this to the whole country, so there's nowhere to go. So it doesn't matter where you go. The centralization of government, the control over your lives and so forth and so on. That's the truth. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Now, as a citizen, it'll be interesting to watch how the media respond, the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats declare a massive victory. They'll all be smiling, having won in Democrat states. We'll see what happens in the city of New York. The media will be telling you why they won and the Republicans lost. They'll start blaming the Republicans for the shutdown and Donald Trump and so forth and so on. I can already tell you what they're going to say. And then we're going to have some Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene and a handful of others who will run for the hills by trashing their own party. Again, I want to remind you, New Jersey is a blue state. Virginia is effectively a blue state, even though they had a Republican win last time around. And New York City isn't even a blue state. Might be a pink state. If the pinko wins, you never know. All right, Mr. Producer, let's see here. 1 second. So I'll be moving over to WABC in a few minutes to talk over there. Let's see here. Well, these are good calls, but none of them I think. How much time do I have, Rich? Okay. I think it would be better if I kind of sum up what you're seeing right now. And let's take one more look so I can sum it up properly. Virginia governor's race, that's over. I mean, right now there's over 11-point lead. It's been called. Both candidates have one conceded and one declared victory, of course. And the media will continue to tell you that this governor is a moderate, this incoming governor, when, of course, they didn't cover her real record. In New Jersey, with 32% of the vote in, 188,000 vote lead for this Mikie Sherrill. She has 58.9% to Jack Ciattarelli, 40.6%. Again, you got a lot of the vote out there, 68%. But the problem is you got to really be able to chip away at the Democrats. That does not appear to have taken place, but we'll see. I feel it's going to definitely be closer than that. Of course, we don't have an answer in New York yet because the polls close there in 6 minutes. So we shall see what happens there and who's actually going to vote. Now let's see if we can find, Mr. Producer, the Attorney General race in Virginia. Bear with me, America. I'm looking right now. Well, the Democrat has squeaked ahead by 55,000 votes out of about 2.32 million votes cast. He's got 51%. The Republican Mayeras has 48.6% of that vote, and there's 68% of the vote in. So that may go down to the wire. I don't know. 55,000 is a lot, but it can move. So the Republicans are putting their bet on the Attorney General race, and that guy's a rhino. I'm just being honest with you. So we'll see what happens there. Virginia has the highest percentage of federal government workers of any state in the country, including bigger than Maryland, by the way. I just looked that up. And that's Northern Virginia. And that, in addition to the immigration policies of the past, is why Virginia went from dark red to blue and maybe heading dark blue. Again, it doesn't mean a Republican can't win. Youngkin did. But it means it's a blue state. And Donald Trump's not running in the state, and so he has no control over that. New Jersey's a blue state. So again, you're going to watch, if we were losing red states or marginally Democrat or marginally Republican states, that would be one thing. I'm just being honest about it. I'm not trying to put a smiley face on this. I'm just telling you the truth. These are battles that are being duked out in blue states. And in the case of New Jersey, a very blue state. And in the case of New York, we'll see what happens. But an extremely ultra blue state that's now turned into a city that's turned into a pinko party. All right, folks, we salute our armed forces, police officers, firefighters, emergency personnel, our truckers, the men and women in Ukraine and in Israel. You, the American people, thank God for each and every one of you. Keep your chin up. We shall overcome. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.